Hi, this is the presentation on transportation and industrial development during the late 1800s and early 1900s. When we talk about transportation at this time, we are specifically talking about the railroads. First thing we're going to look at are national markets. National markets are created by transportation advances, meaning the railroad. Now products can be sold anywhere in America, not just locally. And that's what a national market is. It just means products are being sold over the entire country. It's not a physical store or like a farmer's market that you go to. It just means that products can be sold anywhere in America because of the railroad. This new advance in transportation linked resources, products, and markets. Manufacturing areas were often located near large populations, meaning in cities, because they needed many workers to work in the factory. However, most resources and markets were not located in the city. Markets we've talked about being all over the country, resources are the same. So those finished products need to be transported from the manufacturing area to markets. Some stay in the cities and some get sold all over the country. The ways that transportation linked these three things together are that railroads moved natural resources to factories in the east. And we looked at examples of natural resources last week, such as wood and coal and copper. And then railroads moved finished products from the factories back out to the country to be sold in national markets. I have two examples for you of how transportation linked these three things together. The first one has to do with the steel industry. So railroads moved iron ore, which is the natural resource, to steel mills, which are factories, and then moved the steel, which is the finished product. Iron ore gets turned into steel in a factory through a process, from factories to be sold all over the U.S., which are the national markets. So here's a specific example of how during industrialization, railroads move natural resources to factories and finished products from factories to markets. Another example of how these three things are linked together by the railroad is with the meatpacking industry. So railroads move the beef cattle, which are the natural resource, and we discussed them during westward expansion, to meatpacking factories. And railroads then move that packaged beef, which is the finished product, from the factories to stores, which are the national markets, all over the United States. And they're able to do this because of the invention of the refrigerated train car, which will be attached to a train and driven on the railroad all over the country. Meat needs to be refrigerated to stay fresh, and this allows for meat to be sold all over the United States. Railroads play a huge role during industrialization. Finally, I would like you to label your map of specialized industrial centers. So, we talked earlier in this lesson about how factories and manufacturing centers are often located near large populations. The cities we're going to focus on in this unit are the city of Pittsburgh, which is where the steel industry was located, the city of Chicago, where the meatpacking industry was located, the city of Detroit, where the automobile or car industry was located, and the Northeast region, which is where the textile or fabric, clothing, those types of materials industry was located. And as you can see, I have some railroads on here because railroads crisscross this whole country from east to west, branching off of the Transcontinental Railroad so that natural resources could be shipped to factories and finished products shipped out from the factories in these cities and these areas all over the country to national markets. Please complete your notes and bring them to class, and rewatch and rewind this video as many times as you need so that you understand how transportation advances like the railroad link natural resources, products, and national markets.